David was the greatest earthly king Israel ever had. He was wise, caring, compassionate, a fierce warrior, and a man after God's own heart. David was such a great king that the Messiah was established through his lineage and known as the Son of David. It is hard to find a biblical figure more fitting of our admiration. He authored a majority stake of the Psalms and, by all accounts, is the greatest lyricist to ever have lived, as his Psalms are just absolutely beautiful. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you know that as great a man as David was, he certainly was not perfect. He lied, cheated, murdered, and that was all just on one occasion. David also wrestled extensively with pride, and was even prideful in his servitude of God. So, why do I bring this up? Recently, former lead singer Michael Tait of my favorite band Newsboys was accused and admitted to drunken misconduct, use of illegal substances, and sexually assaulting other men. Growing up, the Newsboys were my favorite band, and even to this day, they still are. Born Again is my favorite song of all time, followed closely by I Am Second. I own 3 of their albums and have seen them in concert multiple times. So, when these allegations came out, I was stunned and upset. That feeling did not dissipate when he posted on Instagram admitting to most of the allegations. Here was my favorite artist in the world confessing to something that I couldn't understand. How could he have been doing all of these things while every night going out and praising God in front of thousands of people? I did my best to push that feeling out of my head because I still loved the music and wanted to keep listening to the stuff I grew up on. But I couldn't. I had this hurt now, knowing that the voice behind my favorite music was tarnished. It may sound somewhat childish, and truthfully it was, but even more recently, Bear Reinhardt of the band Need to Breathe was also accused of sexual abuse, this time by his brother. Bear vehemently denied the accusations and did so with a lot of grace. He admitted that he had abused his brother in the past. However, he stated he had been open about this and done counseling with his brother to get through it. But even so, this was a reinforcement of what I had been thinking about. Initially, I didn't want to listen to Need to Breathe either, which was another band that I had loved. And a friend even had asked if there were any Christian artists left who weren't Predators. And while I pointed out that Bear denied the accusation, if I'm being honest, I had much the same thought. When John Steingard of Hawk Nelson apostatized a couple years ago, I didn't listen to their music for a long time. I didn't have a problem, though, with reading the Psalms, so why did I have a problem with listening to these songs that I had loved for almost 2 decades? And then it occurred to me, I had put the people above the work that God had done through them. I had made an idol out of these guys and forgotten the point of the work that they were doing. Yes, all of these artists had issues, regardless of the truth of the accusations against them, but how is that different from David's sin? I am still awestruck by the beauty of the Psalms, and I will continue to be until God no longer gives me breath. But that was easy to do because I didn't feel hurt by David. He wasn't an idol for me. But Michael Tait? Yeah, that one hurt. The point I am making is the following. As easy as it is to get caught up in the flashing lights and the bumping bass, we should not be led astray by following men. As Need to Breathe says, money and fame bring a man shame. Ain't no doubt about it. So instead of allowing our opinions to be swayed to and fro by men, we ought to set our feet upon the firm foundation of Christ. Certainly, it can be disheartening to find out that a leader in the faith has been so deeply sinful. But might I remind everybody, through the words of the Apostle Paul, that all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Our greatest concern should be Christ and the gospel. As Tait put it in his post, to the extent that my sinful behavior has caused anyone to lose respect or faith or trust in me, I understand, deserve, and accept that. But it crushes me to think that someone would lose or choose not to pursue faith and trust in Jesus, because I have been a horrible representative of him. For he alone is the ultimate hope for any of us. And that is the truth of the matter. Regardless of who does what, Jesus is Lord and God over all. Even if we falter, he never does. So if you are ever doubting because of evil or hypocrisy in the church, know that we have room for one more hypocrite.